What up, Aries? Guys, totally annoyed that you had to wait so long for your video. Yeah, me too. Patience isn't my strong point either. However, we're gonna do this Aries reading, and it's good. It's so good. So you might notice there's a lot of blues and purples in our reading today for the month of June 2018. We'll be throwing out the July ones here real quick. I apologize. My relationship with technology has not been real great this month, but persevering, rocking it out. So purple and blue. So with the blue, we have a couple different shades of blue, which is nice because then we can talk about our throat chakra, our third eye chakra, and then moving into the purple and white is our crown chakra. So purple chakra is the crown chakra, and that is all about your connection with your higher consciousness, the connection with your guides. And your third eye is all about your perception and your inner wisdom. So once we can align our connection to spirit and our higher self, we can understand our inner wisdom and have a more solid perception. And then we can use our throat chakra, which is our fifth chakra, which is the light blue, and we can use that to express our truth. Seems like a good game plan, huh? I think so. In our affirmations deck, the overall advice for the month of June: engagement, communication, and perseverance. Like Aries to a T. I'm gonna start with engagement. So, you know when you're at the mall or in a place where there's a lot of people and you have a guilty pleasure of people watching? You can find a lot of enjoyment in that. Think of how much enjoyment you might get out of people engaging instead of just people watching. Maybe if you stop to say hi, if you waited for the answer to your generic "hey, how are ya?" and maybe engaged with the world around you a little bit more, you might just be able to have a less than mundane day. How do you do that? You do that by knowing how to communicate. So this month, if you have a question, ask it. You are able to tap into that strength, that easily accessible ability to communicate this month. Think about it. If you hold a fart in, you get a stomach ache. Depending on what your thoughts are, if you're holding those in, you might end up with a heartache. It's all about perception, right? A lot of you know I have quite the unique perception on things. And then there's perseverance. Clearly, we are Aries. fucking rock stars. At least we act like we are. We say we are. But blood, sweat, and tears isn't just an expression. I mean, when it comes to actually making your dreams a reality, that shit's legit. So I don't care if you bitch and moan the whole time you're doing it, but do it. Go after it. This month is fabulous for Aries. You guys can get the job done. Your spirit guides have offered Spirit of Air and offerings through the Native Spirit deck, which is my favorite deck. And Spirit of Air is all about, coincidentally enough, the color of the card is light blue and dark blue, correct? Well, communicate your truth. Clear the air. So keep in mind, if you are standing in the middle of Times Square, sure, you can see in all directions, but there's like numerous obstructions in every direction, whether it be people or light poles or skyscrapers or whatever the fuck else there is in Times Square. So it's when we're able to view things from a higher vantage point, that higher perspective, that we can see in all the nooks and crannies, and we can really see the big picture with little to no obstructions. Those obstructions can also be our thoughts. We are so good at convincing ourselves of some serious bullshit. But if we can tap into our inner wisdom and our higher consciousness, maybe we can clear out some of that bullshit. With the offerings card, talks about how genuine gratitude can go so far. It can go a long ways. So at work, we have on-call shifts. And if somebody covers your on-call and you act like it's no big deal and you don't appreciate it, chances are they're going to tell you to go fuck yourself the next time you ask them. But you bring them $20, you say thank you, tell them how much you appreciate it, bring them a cookie for saving your ass, chances are they might help you out again. So be conscious about verbally compensating those around you who have offered their assistance, offered their love, and made your life just a little bit better. In the work, career, finance section, Four of Swords, King of Swords. Oh, swords. Swords are all about thoughts for the most part. It's not like there's, too many hearts in the clouds if you look at those cards. So sometimes it's necessary to get out of your normal routine. Like, PTO isn't just given to you because they needed something to fill that box on your pay stub. No. They give it to you because A, the reality is things come up, and B, some employers understand that if they give you a little time off, maybe you won't be such an asshole when you come in and you'll actually be dedicated to what you're doing. So get outdoors, get grounded, take some time for you. And while doing that, we're going to move into the King of Swords. And that little guy there, he just wants to tell you, Aries, that it's just not all about you sometimes. Sometimes we need to check ourselves and ask, have I considered anyone else other than myself? No matter the topic. It doesn't matter if you are spending $100 at Target or if you are planning a week-long vacation. Who have you all considered in this? Especially with how our astrology sits for the remainder of this month, we really need to be mindful of whether or not our choices with work, career, finance are beneficial to not only us, but our family as well. And if we can get those two tasks locked down, then we get the sun. And who wouldn't want the sun? We spend all winter wanting the sun to come out. Well, summer's here, boys and girls. So, make it happen. Love and romantic relationships. We have trust, encouragement, and prayer. Pretty optimistic. Trust is all about your perception. So you can either feel like, what the fuck, with everything that's happening in life, or you can shapeshift into one of the ninja warriors on TV and roll with the punches and defy the odds and then be proud of yourself and do a fucking victory lap afterwards. Seems like probably the better choice. And then even though you might not necessarily be able to initially see the positive impact or influence that you have on others, the encouragement card reminds us that in due time, the words that you say, the encouragement that you offer others, the love that you give, just like a seed that you plant, it will grow roots. I mean, unless you totally don't have a green thumb or you suck at watering it, but I mean, it's gonna grow roots, and eventually you'll see the effects in others, and then they are able to pay it forward. And that's what creates world peace, ladies and gentlemen. But seriously, trust. I mean, like, Aries sometimes, you know, maybe a lot of the times, doesn't necessarily deliver a message with the sugar coating, like the little donut holes and stuff, you know, but it's typically pretty honest and never really meant to hurt feelings, and could have a pretty good point behind it. So speak your truth, communicate, engage with others, get out of your head, get outside, get grounded, be thankful for what you have, and then be like your spirit animal, which is the owl. So because the owl has found like this perfect harmony or balance between seeing and hearing, they're able to hear like the most faint of noises or messages, and then they can trust their intuition that what they've heard and seen and know can be combined to form like the most accurate compass that guides you in the direction that you were intended to go on this journey. We are all so much more aware and not oblivious than we give ourselves credit for. Sometimes the reality just fucking sucks and you don't really want to look at it. But fact remains, we knew from the start that it probably sucked. So trust yourself. And you will end up leading you where you need to go. The love and relationship section also had the prayer card. So if we're able to embrace the attributes of the owl and everything else I've talked about, then we can hear the message of this prayer card, and that is to help me dissolve the past guilt or regret. Help me to see that all is always in perfect and divine order, timing. The lineup is always right. And if we can let go of the fear of the future, maybe we can start living for today. Anyone who knows me probably has heard me say something along the lines of, the love of my life must have gotten seriously sidetracked or hit by a truck. Like, not just like a little S10, like a Mack truck. Or is traveling by foot from like another country that's on the other side of an ocean. But once you drop those expectations and realize that you are the love of your life, shit gets pretty fucking easy and relaxing, and you can trust. I mean, we're not the most patient of individuals, but if it's a guarantee that if we're right with the world, Mr. Right or Mrs. Right will come along, I'm down for that. I mean, you can't just throw syrup in the pancake batter and say you made pancakes. No, you have to make the batter first, and you have to put all the ingredients together, and then you have to fry them up. You might burn a few. Some might run off from the pan a little bit and be ugly as, you know, a pancake can be that's not on a postcard or, you know, a billboard for Denny's. But they're still pancakes. You took the time to make them, and then you can use your syrup. Get used to my really great analogies, because there's a lot of them, Aries. A lot of them. So much more where that came from. Just the tip of the iceberg, boys and girls. It's going to be a good month. I will make my best attempt at not being late as fuck with the July readings, and I will continue to work on the dailies. So you guys go out and be some rock stars while tapping into your intuition and speaking your truth. I will see you again in July. Bye.